This is some of the most aromatic, most fragrant desserts that you've ever tried. This is a chocolate budino. What's budino? It's Italian for pudding. This luscious chocolate and luscious and creamy whipped cream is infused with Earl Gray tea that I got from my friends over at New Break Tea. They have so many different varieties, but you know what? Tea is a spice. We steep it, we drink it, but did you know that you can cook with it and make awesome dishes like this? I'm gonna show you exactly how to make this incredible, fragrant, deep aromatic chocolate dessert that's gonna change the way you think about pudding. Here it is, Chocolate Budino by Kitchen Bravo. So to make this chocolate budino, it's really very simple. I mean, you know, like I said, budino is just a fancy word for pudding. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start in our heat-proof bowl here, about 4 ounces of chocolate chips. And I have like semi-sweet chocolate chips here, and you can get a candy bar and chop it up, but I really like doing it this way because you know what? It's already cut up for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the chocolate chips in this bowl, put this guy away for later, and 1 tablespoon of butter. So we're just gonna let those guys chill right there. So what I'm gonna do now is move over to the stove, and I'm gonna take my strainer with me. So here, in my pot, I'm gonna start to sift together more ingredients. I have 3 tablespoons of cornstarch right here. That's gonna go right into my strainer. And give the bowl just a little bit of a tap because it likes to stick. I'll just go ahead and get the whisk to it, no big deal. There we go. All right, so I've got the cornstarch in, and I'm gonna go ahead and sift it together with my unsweetened cocoa powder, and I have a tablespoon of that right here. I'm just gonna sift it and get it all mixed up really, really well. And you're gonna see a few little knots coming up. That's really no big deal. So what we're gonna do is just kind of like take our whisk and crush them to get them through. There it is. Okay, that's easy enough. So the cornstarch is gonna be our thickening agent. I'll put this guy away too. And we're gonna use our strainer again later. So what I wanna do is go ahead and mix in a cup of sugar right here into my cornstarch and cocoa powder mixture. So just get it all mixed up really, really well. Perfect. I'm going to turn the heat on to about medium-high. And I'm also going to go ahead and pour in 2 cups of milk. I got my 2 cups of milk right here, and I'm gonna keep stirring and stirring and stirring until it gets a really nice thick consistency. This is gonna get all of the ingredients mixed together super well and make a really nice luscious pudding. So what I always like to do to enhance any kind of flavor is add just a tiny little pinch of salt, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I have a little bit of kosher salt that I'm just putting in. So don't worry about salting your dessert. Salt is a flavor enhancer. It's like a little magnifying glass for all of those amazing components that are going into your desserts. Now, into this too, we're making this a very special pudding, a very special budino. A lot of people like to use coffee to infuse and like really give that chocolate flavor extra depth. And I normally do that. I love using coffee, but today I'm gonna use one of my favorite ingredients, and it's this Earl Gray black tea that you can see I got it from New Break Tea. They're amazing. I have a shipment that comes to me like every month with so many amazing flavors, like really big packages of it too. So what I'm gonna do is take some of this tea, a teaspoon and a half of it, just right here. 1.5 teaspoons, perfect. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it right there into my milk and chocolate. Oh my God, that smell. The black tea gives it like this really deep flavor, this really deep aroma that's gonna enhance the chocolate just so marvelously, so beautifully. And a lot of people really don't even think about cooking with tea, but it really does enhance a flavor profile and it brings it up to a next level. It's just so amazing multidimensional cooking. I mean, tea is dried leaves, it's spices, right? So why not cook with it? Sure. This is gonna come to a boil, and I'm gonna keep stirring it until I feel it thickening up. So this is gonna take just a couple of minutes to let everything just melt together and get those flavors to infuse. And as soon as it starts to boil and thicken, we're gonna move on to the next step. It's been a couple of minutes and look how thick and luscious this is looking. Now this is just milk, sugar, cornstarch, and unsweetened cocoa powder with a teaspoon and a half of our Earl Gray tea that we got from our friends over at New Break Tea. Thank you again, guys, so much. It's such an amazing product. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and sift this through our strainer. That way all of the little pieces of tea don't get mixed in and we have the smooth, creamy consistency of a rich, luscious chocolate budino. Creamy, thick Italian pudding. Oh my gosh. And if you could just smell it. I mean, just the smell of it alone is just so aromatic. Oh, wow. There we go. And get everything out of that pot. There we go. All right. Just want to go ahead and strain this all out. And you can see all of our tea leave-ins right there. You know, it's infused that milk so beautifully. All right. Put you away. And we're just going to go ahead and whisk this in with our butter and semi-sweet chocolate. I love using a glass bowl because we can see how much of the chocolate we have left to melt, and it's going really, really well so far. Let's just mix this all in. Okay, I don't see any more streaks of chocolate. I feel my whisk just gliding across the bottom of the bowl. So silky smooth, the butter's incorporated in. And the next thing that we have to do is portion it out and let it chill. They're so good. Okay, so before I start eating all of this by myself, I'm gonna go ahead and just start pouring it into ramekins. And I've got 4 right here that are prepared. So I'm just going to simply dish it out. Look at that luscious, gorgeous sheen. How creamy and amazing is that? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna chop these guys off just a little bit. Because, you know, I'm a little greedy when it comes to chocolate, but I still want to be generous when it comes to serving my guests. There, okay. This is one of the smoothest puddings I've ever tasted in my life. It's so rich and so creamy. And just those little, tiny little floral notes and nuances from the Earl Grey really lift that depth of dark chocolate. It's just, it's something that you're really gonna have to try. It just puts everything on a whole different level. So what we're gonna do is cover these with plastic wrap, and I want the plastic wrap to touch the surface of the pudding so it doesn't make a skin. We're gonna pop them in the refrigerator and let them chill for at least an hour. This one. Just like that. That one kind of caught on the edge of the saran wrap, but that's okay. No big deal. The entire surface is covered and that's what matters. So there we go. All right, into the fridge. All right, that half teaspoon of tea that I had reserved earlier that I didn't use to infuse in the milk, I put in my mortar here, and what I'm gonna do is just grind it up with my pestle. And the smell of it, it's like just a little bit spicy, a little bit sweet, and really just so amazing. It's just, I mean, it's Earl Grey tea. You know, it's amazing tea. So I'm just gonna go ahead and crush it really, really well with the mortar and pestle. And if you don't have a mortar and pestle, that's okay. You can use a spice grinder, but you wanna grind it up really, really fine into a powder. I think that's a really nice little spice grind right there. What do you think? It's good? Yeah, awesome. All right, so now what I've got here is I've got 1 tablespoon of powdered sugar right here, and I need to get the cream out of the fridge because it always whips up best when it's super, super ice cold. So here we go. I have a 1/3 cup measuring cup here. I want 1 cup of heavy cream right into the bowl. And a little hack that's gonna make this whip up even faster that I didn't do but should have is if you know that you're gonna make whipped cream, go ahead and put your bowl in the freezer, and that way it's gonna whip up even faster and better. All right, So I'm just gonna go ahead and start whisking it up. I wanna get it real foamy, and once it gets really foamy, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my powdered sugar and tea. Okay, that's pretty thick. In goes the powdered sugar. All right, still thick. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle in the tea, just like that, and whisk it all up. Wow, the smell is just really, really strong. It's a really great, robust tea with a delicate flavor. I mean, it's a great product, and it adds so much to the chocolate. But after a few minutes, you've got really nice, thick cream. And this is what we want with the soft peaks, just like this. Beautiful, perfect. Okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is gonna go ahead and get everything ready to start assembling my desserts. Here we go. It's time to dress our desserts now, and look at these. Look how thick and luscious they are. They set up really well. Thickened with cornstarch. Thickened with cornstarch, it's amazing. So now we're gonna go ahead and use like a little chefy trick to really dress up these guys. So I wanna take some of my whipped cream and make like a quenelle. So I scoop up a little bit in a spoon. I take my other spoon, going the opposite direction, and just kind of scoop and scrape the spoon as I'm going in. And it's gonna make like this little oval, what they call a quenelle. Just like this, like a little football shape. Nice and smooth. You're gonna do this just a couple of times. There we are. Kind of nice and pretty, right? Kind of neat. Cool little trick. All right, so I'm gonna take this and just put it right here in the very center. There we go. I'm gonna do it one more time. Make a couple of these. There we go. It just takes a little practice. It doesn't take very long. But it's just scraping one spoon into the other to get this really cool little shape. There we go. Plate up like this. All right. Now we're gonna get a little fancy because citrus is a great way to really lift up the chocolate. And this tea and chocolate combination, it's like really deep and it's really luscious. And this is gonna give it just the right amount of brightness to add to it. So we just wanna zest. Just a little bit of orange, just like this. And if you don't like orange zest, that's okay. You certainly don't have to use it. But I love it because it adds just that little tiny taste of something extra. Tiny little pinch of salt on top. And there you have it. Chocolate Budino. Italian chocolate pudding, rich and creamy and luscious, infused with Earl Gray tea that I got from my friends over at New Break Tea. So thank you guys over at New Break for sending the teas that you do every month. The flavors are amazing and astounding, and I'm so excited to have used them in this dessert. So grabbing one of the spoons here. Your cream is outstanding. This is Keisha, Kitchen Bravo, saying buon appetito. Holy crap. Okay. This just brought desserts up to a whole new level, guys. You have to try this out. There it is right there. The orange zest just brightens it up. It makes it so light and luscious, and the complexity of flavors. Okay, go and try and make this. Do it all on your own. I'm here for help. Drop a comment. Find me on Facebook. I'm gonna go and finish this. I think I'm gonna finish this one too, so I'll see you guys later.